Hello YouTube and welcome back to JimmyBob25 Motorsports. Yes, we are back with the monthly supercars reviews. The Formula 1 review will be coming out next week. So, let's get into it. If you like the video and want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all good stuff. You know what to do. Let's get into it. No intro today, so... This is the review of the Formula 1 Melbourne supersprint. I'm trialing something new, which I'm now kind of regretting, because I went through the reviews that supercars post after every race, copied and pasted the stuff that I wanted to talk about and then put it into my document. Yes, I am lazy. So, the first one was race 4. I have jack shit of information. So, I believe I'm currently on the website. If I just go to Q1. The Brody Kostecki got pole, followed by James Golding and Brock Feeney, rounding out the top 3, with Matty Payne in 4th. This is for race 4, by the way. And the race ended with Brody Kostecki winning, Matty Payne and Brock Feeney. So, well, most importantly, Brody Kostecki won 3 out of the 4 races. That is one thing. Second of all, the race wasn't without incident. Kai Allen and Aaron Cameron both spinning at turn 3, either side of the safety car, and Jackson Walls spinning off into the gravel trap at turn 11, triggering the safety car. He was going, I believe, off the top of my head, he was going side by side with, who was it? One of the Premiere cars, I'm pretty sure. But he just got onto the dirty stuff and went, no. So yeah. Race 5. Here is what I've managed to cook up and jumble up. Zach Bates and Macaulay Jones both found themselves facing the wrong way at turn 3. Whilst Will Brown launched a huge move on Cooper Murray at turn 11, only to put himself and Murray off the road and into the gravel. Brown was slapped with a 15-second penalty for his actions, further compounding what has had been a tough start to his first season at the helm of a Ford. Despite having a penalty hanging over his head, Brown still defended vigorously from Cam Hill, bringing a swarm of cars, including Anton Di Pasquale, Andre Heimgartner, and Chazzy Mostert into the mix. Hill would later tag the rear of Brown at the final corner, pushing the rear guard onto his left rear tire as Jaime soared past to lead the group. So, one interesting fact that I looked through, out of 7 races, Will Brown has had penalties in, I believe, 4. 3 or 4. So, tough start to the weekend. Not to the weekend. Tough start to the season. Somehow, though, Triple Eight are still. I'm pretty sure they're third in the championship. I'd have to look it up. Which I will be going on to the website again later. So stay tuned for that. Race 6. Cameron challenged Feeney after the lights went out and the poleman, but the poleman held on. Behind them, all hell broke loose. Ojeda was tipped into a spin after a dive by Cameron Hill on Zach Bates, who surfed through the grass with Ryland Gray. On lap 2, that was only on lap 1. Chaz Mossad attacked Will Brown at the turn 9, turn 10 complex, forcing the 888 Red Bull Ampol Ford through the grass. As they hit the next braking zone, 3 into 1 does not go. Will Brown, Jack LeBrock, and Paul Cooper Murray sent the ladder into the gravel. As I said, Cooper Murray, triggering the safety car. Brown cleared Mozzie at turn 1 on the next lap, allowing Allen through 2 corners later. Later around the lap, a squeeze between Ryan Wood, Thomas Randall, and Macaulay Jones put the ladder into the barriers at turn 5. That was Randall, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Randall could only get 100 meters up the road before stopping, triggering a second safety car. At the end of the race, Brock Feeney had denied Brody Kostecki in a wild, action-packed race 6 at Melbourne Supersprint, which saw Matt Payne crash out and Will Brown facing a 4th penalty in 6 races. That just answered my question from earlier. For penalties through 7 races. I know it said 6 here, but it's actually 7. But what is going on with Will Brown? Like, he just cannot. First of all, he's always starting in the mid pack. Second of all, he's especially at Melbourne, he's got so many. Like, Melbourne was insane. There was through the 4 races, there was a line of cars, 10 cars deep on so many occasions. It was mental. So now we get on to arguably one of the most interesting ones. So at the start of the race, Ryan Wood had a bad start, and Kai Allen came up beside him, trying to make space, because it's the first lap. And Ryan Wood and Kai Allen jumped over each other, and they went on. They kept going, and then Kai Allen got tagged by Macaulay Jones, who overcorrected and tipped Brock Feeney, surprisingly, into a spin with the 88 Red Bull Ampol Mustang spinning into the front of the field. Through smoke, Brock Feeney, not computing, did a flick spin and hit the unsighted Cooper Murray and Zach Bates, making them crash and all that. And then there was a second incident between David Reynolds. For some reason, I cannot think of his name. And a few other people as well, but I don't have them on my notes. There should have, if there hasn't already, there should be a video up here showing the incident. Feeney and Murray's car sustained most of the damage, with Feeney's Ford suffering heavy front and rear damage, taking off the left rear. The right rear, taking off the right rear. Parts going everywhere. It didn't look good. As I said, Zach Bates was also on the spot. All drivers walked away from the incident, so that was a good thing. Matty Payne and Aaron Cameron races were ruined by punctures, while Ryan Wood was also undone by a collision with Kai Allen that led to a wild start to the race. As I said earlier, what occurred. So, Brody Kostecki, a name that we did not mention much at all in that whole segment, he dominated the weekend. 3 out of the 4 wins and a second place, getting him... Brody Kostecki won 3 out of the 4 races while having a touch of suspected food poisoning, and in turn winning the Larry Perkins Trophy and getting the championship lead. So, DJR finally on top. Yes! Hopium for good old James. So, now we are going to... I'm going to give you a little insight to how it is to drag all the equipment, all the supercars equipment across the ditch. So, all told, and I do quote, all told, the entire traveling supercars circus gets packed into 33 shipping containers, 22 carrying either equipment or cars for the teams, broadcast equipment for supercars media, or used as communal containers. Dunlop requires 7 containers for race and technical for tires and technical equipment, while fuel suppliers, Race Fuels, bring 2 containers, as do trackside signalage suppliers, sign events. That was confusing. So they leave from 2 positions. They leave from, or 2 boats will go to New Zealand. One is leaving from Brisbane for the Queensland-based teams, which I still don't know. I've tried searching them up, but I do not know what teams are actually based in Queensland and what teams are based in Victoria. I know 888 is up here. I believe DJR is also up here as well, but those are the only 2 that I know. I know Penrite is down in Victoria. But, so, and then there's a second one leaving, as I said, leaving Melbourne for the Victorian teams and Brad Jones Racing. These ships leave on Saturday, 21st of March, which they would have already left because this is Tuesday, the 24th of March. And head for Tarragay. I cannot pronounce it. Roughly 230 kilometers southeast of Auckland, and 150 kilometers north of Taupo. So that's just a little insight of how restricted gear they actually can bring over. So this next one is going to be a bit outdated in 3 days from recording, but we have got the Liquid Moly GT Festival at Phillip Island, part of the World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS. So the event timetable which by the time this comes out, this would have already been run and won, probably. But on the Saturday or on the Friday, we'll have, and I'll probably put a list here as well. Well, we've got Motorcraft Mustang Cup Australia, Porsche Michelin Sprint Cup, World GT World Challenge Australia, powered by AWS, Pronochrome GT4 Australia Series, Ferrari Challenge. Where am I now? Ferrari Challenge Tifo Pirelli Asia. So that will run on rotation for the day. World GT Challenge gets 2 races, one on the Saturday at 3:55, ending at 4:55, so I might actually be able to watch that. Maybe not. And it will run for an hour, or it has ran for an hour. And on the Sunday, it starts at 1. These are all Australian Eastern Daylight Times. This is not Australian Standard Eastern Time as what I need, but I'll work around it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Subscribe to JimmyBob25. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.